Nothing, people. We've got a full house tonight. Honestly, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm just going through as we're waiting to come live, seeing all these stats that Farke continues to break and Leeds United are in. Oh, it's just crazy, man. I'm so happy. Lightning does strike twice, and then we win the game 3-1. Probably unexpected, maybe for some. I still held on to faith after what happened at Sunderland that we could go on and win it, and we did, and in an emphatic fashion at one of our rivals against the manager we all dislike, and it just makes it all the more sweeter. Leeds are now 5 points above Sheffield United, so at least Chris Wilder can't say, yeah, but we had 2 points deducted. Have them 2 points now. You can have them, mate. It doesn't really matter. Burnley have got, 7 to catch up, 8 if you can. Do you know this is the first time ever in our history at this stage of the season we've got 50-plus goal difference, and it's just going to continue to rise. It's an insane season. We're living a moment in history. Yes, some will say there's an asterisk because it's the Championship, but I don't care. Football's fleeting. It's all about moments, and right now I'm going to enjoy it because for the next few seasons, it's probably going to be rough. So enjoy this. Evie, normally it's just me and you, so I'm going to come to you first and foremost because we've got loads on tonight. But how happy are you?
Absolutely elated. I was
Jay
very,
fuming
very...
that I didn't go to him first. He just booted. He's gone. Sorry, go on, Eva.
Oh, Chris Pratt. I was so anxious throughout most of that game. I could not sit still. I was pacing. I was stressed because Sheffield were all over us for the first kind of 20 minutes. And I really, I've been very, very critical at times of Meslier, and I know it's gone down as an own goal, but I really feel sorry for him because he made a brilliant save, and then Strout came in on him behind, kind of took him off balance. He then palmed it and couldn't get his other hand up to react to his own palming into the back of the net. I actually thought he was brilliant for the rest of the game, and maybe for the 10 minutes afterwards, he did look shaky. He looked like his confidence had kind of been sucked right out of him, and I was anxious for where we were going to go. But I thought he kept us in it a couple of times, and I thought Rodon, I really want to put a word out there because he was everywhere. Yes. He was everywhere at that back line. He just protected everybody. And I don't think, other than maybe one misplaced pass to Dan James, he put a foot wrong that entire game. I thought Dan James was very frustrating. In fact, him and Solomon were frustrating at times. They were creating good opportunities, but then they weren't passing it. They were being a little bit greedy. I thought Rothwell came on and changed the game, again. Firpo, what a fantastic header. And can I just say that man looks the best in our yellow kit out of any of the Leeds players. He just looks absolutely incredible. And too many good things to say. And those are the games that you don't remember the first 70 minutes of that game when you're thinking about these moments. You just remember how it made you feel and the potential that it's probably caused some heart failure at some point, which will probably catch up on you when 20 years time.
Yeah, it's insane. You're right. I mean, I felt Evie. Yeah, I think you bang on. I think we were shell shocked for first 20-25 minutes. Obviously, we lose our captain, and they come out like a Trojan. They're just there, right? We're in the faces. Let's get amongst it. And look, I know you are being fair to Meslier. I just think it was a catalogue of errors leading up to that ultimate error because he'd nearly thrown it in once before that Gruev headed off the line, and he. If anything, what that then did is give the crowd and Blades and that team more impetus to come and go. And I felt like he was also culpable for that 25-minute spell in a way.
Yeah.
But look, we come through it. And I said that, it was just about getting through that 20-25 minutes. And we did. They could have easily got a second. If they get a second, it could be game over. But we read it out. And, we can go back. I think Farke probably knows he got it wrong tonight, hence why he made changes as early as he did. We've never seen him make changes that early. So you've got to, again, give praise to him. I can't believe James stayed on the pitch. I thought Solomon stay on, Nonto go out to the right, and he keeps James on, and he ends up getting 2 assists. That's just my opinion on the game. I thought, tonight I thought Piroe was going to come off for Joseph, and then when he leaves Aronson, he takes Aronson off and keeps Piroe on, and then Piroe gets the third, and he played well in the 10, and it's like, you know what? The fucking manager knows what he's doing. He knows his onions. I've just seen a great stat as well. Like, you know, I love to do this. I love to do Twitter, but again, just more praise for the manager. I think no side in the entire EFL has won more points from losing positions in the last 2 seasons than Leeds United. So 39 times we've won games from losing positions. Sure, it's quite an insane stat. And am I underwater? Are you? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Me.
It's probably the voice as well. Sorry.
Back now.
I'm back, am I? Sorted. Go on, Joe. Sorry. How did you see it, mate?
I agree with a lot of what's been said. I thought the back line and Mez together looked rattled in the first 25 minutes. I think rattled was the word that I would use. I don't use that word that often. I don't use it lightly because it's overused, but like they looked all over the place. And I think it was, and again, to put this in context, we always talk about Leeds positively and negatively, but we talk about Leeds. It's not always about us. Sheffield United started with a very tight front three. They had Tyrese Campbell and Ben Burton Diaz constantly swapping over. They himself and Joe Blackburn were talking about it at half time. They had this constant move where Diaz would come across to Bogle. He'd step out a little bit. Bogle would go with him, and then the ball would go over his head, and Campbell would make the run into space behind him. Diaz would make a spin and get the ball back off him. And it was causing so many problems. And they just looked all over the place. They didn't look like they knew who was supposed to be marking who. The two fullbacks couldn't get forward because every time they did, the ball had been put into the space that they left behind them. And they just looked all over the place. And then Mez just wasn't coping with what was going on. He, as was said, he nearly puts one in his own net, foul or otherwise. I didn't think it was that much of a free kick. There is an arm on him, but I want to see him punch that, not go with his hand. I want to see him just get rid of the ball. But I tell you what, in the second half, he made 3 very, very important stops. That slide out from the break from Diaz as well, because a couple of weeks ago, Diaz got in that position and very coolly finished when he got his touch in the box. So to get there before was really important. They did that really, really well. It was a complete turn. Funnily enough, I thought all up tonight, Leeds were sloppy. I thought that the passing was sloppy. I thought the decision-making was poor in the final third. Until the last 10 minutes, I don't think we put one really good move together on the edge of the box where we actually found someone. Evie nailed it on the head. The amount of times you were screaming, let it go, and they take another 2 touches, and then Junior Firpo's clean through on goal if Manor Solomon releases the ball, but he doesn't. Or Piroe, I think it might have been. Same in the second half. On the right-hand side, I think it was Dan James was making a run, and they could have let him go, and they didn't. It just take too long. But still, all that being said, to be able to turn it around and to not win the battle, because we were getting the shit kicked out of us by them, and they were getting Gus Hamer should have been sent off, shouldn't have been on the park. Gets away with 2 after he gets booked, and but they did it the right way. They outplayed them. They one moment they needed to put a lovely move together. They did, and it was Joe Rothwell's pass out to Jaden Bogle, which goes down the right. We get a corner from it. I think it was Firpo scores that one. The cross came in from Dan James, and then Firpo scores the header. Yeah, just excellent stuff. And Piroe's third goal, whopper. What a whopper. Just talk about just putting your laces through it and going, yeah, I have this. And I wouldn't take him off anymore. I think that number 10 position makes perfect sense because when he used to come on for us, when he was on the bench at the start of the season, it was in that 10. So he does well in there. But I again, just want to agree with what Evie said. Hat off to Joe Rodham. He was immense tonight. Joe Rodham was absolutely immense. Firpo was very, very good as well. And as someone said on my stream, the only player that looked like he wanted to go and put his head on the ball regularly throughout the game was Firpo. But they did what they needed to do. Tanaka tidy in the second half, but all good. Everything worked out. So yeah, it's there for us to throw away now. I don't think we will.
No. Do I sound all right now? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I need some water. I know. Yeah, man.
Ready to lie down.
Yeah. What an ending. See, the thing is, I won't be able to sleep though. I couldn't sleep after Sunderland either. So it's like locked in now. So, Luke, mate, what a night, eh? Great result, and just mint performance.
Yeah, just the character we've shown in these last 2 weeks, I think just goes to show that we're a different animal this season. And something we've probably lacked in previous seasons is to have that killer instinct. Look, Sheffield United haven't been beaten this season when scoring the first goal. So it's to go and do that in their own back garden. It speaks volumes, doesn't it? I think we look very lackluster for certainly the majority of the first half. We started coming into it towards the end of the first half. Our right-hand side looked really ineffective. Bogle looked like he'd been intimidated by the fans. I thought he had one of his poorer games. Poor games in recent. Dan James looked relatively ineffective. I thought he was just dribbling into a dead end a lot. But look, we were calling for players to go off. You said it yourself, Joe. Dan James probably should have been hooked. He makes 2 assists. Joel Firpo was relatively ineffective, smashes in a thunder bastard. You know, we're not. That's why Daniel Farke is the man for the job. You know, he knows these players. He knows that he's got all these options available to him, and that he can have a little play around with us, and it changed the game for us. Look, people were kicking off that we didn't sign anybody in the summer. Brendan Diaz was absolute dog shit tonight. It was absolute dog shit. It was the only time I saw him do anything good was when he was in the ref's face asking for free kicks. And just to echo what Evie said, Meslier, absolutely the character shown from those stupid errors to actually come back into the game and pull off some of those saves. And actually that one towards the end where he's come and claimed it, you know, the one where Brendan Diaz would have been through. They're the differences. Then the small differences, Joe, but they're really, really important differences that make me feel we're so different this season. And I think it's down to the group and the players, and we haven't got players trying to just give it to Firpo on the left, give it to Somerville on the left-hand side, or give it to Rutter and just expect them to do something. They all know they've got to work from each other. People say Aronson was poor. He wasn't that poor tonight. I thought Aronson was all right. It was one of his poorer games, but he was still some of his positioning and some of his build-up play and stuff was really, really good. If anything, I would have probably said our worst players up until the spell where we came into it and started sort of putting a bit of momentum up on them. I would have said our wide areas were really, really poor tonight and ineffective. I think they neutralised us really, really well, did Sheffield United. But all in all, Joe, you can't, you know, we could sit and nitpick, but we'd have to be ultra negative to sort of sit here and be downbeat after beating them 3-1 in their own home. So absolutely buzzing. Yeah, I think you've just seen the champions of the championship this season.
Yeah, definitely. Joel Piroe as well now. Joe is 15 goals. That's championship top scorer. I think he's level with Sainz, but I think he's got more assists this season than he's had in any of his other campaigns. He could be on for a 20 goal a season, so that's great to see. And yeah, just more praise for the manager for everything. I'm so happy, man. It's fucking insane.
Does anyone else remember earlier in the season where 2 games in a row we drew matches, and in both of those matches we got unfortunate at various points and we'd missed silly chances and stuff like that? And there was a vast swathe of people being like, we're never going to go up like this. And now here we are potentially talking about we could be breaking championship records in terms of points. We're scoring more goals than anyone could have ever thought that we would. And it's ridiculous. I don't know how to phrase how well things are going at the minute. And the best bit is that, like, in terms of tactical changes made today, in the second half, we adapted to everything that Sheffield United had done that we weren't expecting really effectively. And we did that with a manager that could barely chat with his bench.
So we should keep him up there. He made early subs.
Game like that to the end of the season. I physically can't.
Imagine every single week.
Without Ampadu as well, though, Joe. Without your captain out there, which I think we, in that first 25 minutes, we did need. You know, I felt we did need it. To be honest,
I was, again, when I was chatting with Joe at halftime, it was a little bit of a conversation about I feel like we've planned to have Ethan Ampadu on that pitch right now. And you can tell that we're missing a little bit of leadership out there and things aren't as we expect it to be. And the way to shift it from this weird, uncontrollable, volatile game of football into it'll work out. Because as long as we keep trusting that it will work out, we will get there. And we seem to have this knack of just pulling something out of somewhere and ending up with the 3 points anyway. And that is what you need to win a league. You can't outperform every single team every single week. But you can do what we did and win even when things aren't looking great. And that's what you need to do, I think.
Yeah, you bang on the money. It's mad, isn't it? Because, we said, jokingly a few weeks back, we might get the points. And then we're playing all these good teams and we're like, beat. And I'm looking at the fixtures thinking, hang on a minute. Hang on. But we'll probably end up losing someone like fucking QPR or Millwall or something. And then
Don't mention QPR. Don't mention QPR.
It's true. But I'm so I was confident anyway, but I'm even more confident with the fact that round the corner. Sheffield United have got to play Wednesday. Sheffield United have got to play Burnley. We've got a pretty okay run, to be honest. So I'm just so happy. Paul, I'll come to you, mate. Talk to me. Your thoughts throughout the game, Emma.
You've got to give Sheffield United credit. They did exactly what they needed to do at the start of the game. I think Ampadu not playing, you could tell that I think that we've been working on Ampadu being in the team, but Sheffield United did a very, very good job of being at us and on us, really, really tough and hard, and they were physical for the first 20, 25 minutes. We didn't know what to do. I don't blame Meslier for that goal. I think he was very unfortunate, but unfortunately, it's Meslier, so everybody's just going to blame him anyways. There's not a lot you can do about that. We started to get into it towards the end of the first half, but if ever there was a case of a game of two halves, then this is definitely it. So to give you the idea, XG in the first half was 1.09 for Sheffield United and 0.28 for us. Second half, that XG went to 0.13 for Sheffield United and 1 for us. So that shows you how we sort of turned that around a little bit. And one of the things that I talked about in my preview, which I said was slightly concerning, was the aerial duels side of things. The fact that Sheffield United are very, very good at aerial duels and we're not. And we outperformed Sheffield United on aerial duels tonight, which was a big thing. And listen, the sexy Pirates there again to knock the ball to the back, to the back. You know, Rothwell and then Struijk and then Firpo's there to head in. Sorry, I'm just all over the place because it was just brilliant. I just can't keep doing this week in, week out. My brain can't take it. I've had enough nervous poos today to far too much coffee. And
you're saying you want nil all ball draws? Is that what you're saying?
If we could score earlier, that would be great. But the one thing that I would like to say is we gave you a 1-0 head start at home. You don't lose when you score first. You have done tonight, boys. Unlucky.
Yeah, it was class, wasn't it? I thought it was sweet as well for Farke to take off Bogle later on. It's almost like you've been getting booed. Have a bit of that. Do you know what I mean? Have some moment. Jay looks like he's playing Xbox, but he's not. He's here with us.
Yeah. The old headphones.
Glow in the dark headphones.
They're just gaming headset, mate. Yeah, the Razer ones.
You get them from a pack of Frosties.
Cost a fair few quid, actually, pal. You know what I mean? It's serious shit, this gaming. But yeah, I'm glad I made it, even after a technical issue. Always happens to Ought to Know Better members. But do you know what we are, Joe, right now? If this is WWE, mate, we are standing in the ring, pointing at the WrestleMania sign after just winning the Royal Rumble. That is where we are. The only team that can defeat Leeds United from here is Leeds United.
We won't. We're not. You don't need to say that, man. We can't even fuck this up. We can't.
Why did you say that, though? Why did you say that?
We can't, though.
A part of me wanted to come on in.
We tried to in the first half, and it was fine. So,
yeah, a part of me wanted to say this is the week that won us the league, but I ain't going to go that far because those kind of things come back and bite you. So I'm just saying that we've put ourselves in the driver's seat and we've done a bloody good job. And I said similar after Sunderland, but you don't feel this alive after a routine, boring when you only get this adrenaline, this feeling after games like that.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you're a football fan for, isn't it? That's the truth. I've just seen a tweet, a West Ham fan, not even Leeds, but I don't care. This team is great to watch. It's mad to think the journey we've been on because with earlier parts of the season, the
journey was shit.
Yeah.
Earlier parts of the season, the journey was shit, and now it's not.
Yeah, I guess, there was some, like the West Brom game will always be one that we
Bristol
were like...
City.
Yeah.
When Joseph was starting.
What?
You mean Joseph was
starting?
Any correlation there? Don't shoot the messenger.
Leave the kid alone.
Don't. He had that chance though when he volleyed. Oh man, I was like, oh no, man.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of that tonight though. Do you know what was unsurprising for me? For the last few weeks, we've been releasing the ball at the right time, but it was like Piroe held onto it, Solomon, James, they all held onto it that extra yard, and it was like, fuck's sake.
I think you've got to give props to Sheffield United there because they were pressing us really, really well, and they made it a physical game. And look, the ref was allowing play to flow, and we could have done with a bit of that ourselves probably at times tonight. I think typical Wilder side, they were nitty, gritty, and they were getting stuck into us, and it did intimidate us. I think we were a little bit shell shocked.
Yeah,
great.
I thought that ref gave some dubious free kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And that Tanaka yellow, but yet somehow
Hamer should have got a second.
Hamer doesn't get a second yellow, but Tanaka, where he got the ball, gets the yellow card. I don't understand, why a yellow is a yellow. You're not giving a straight red. It's a yellow card. It's not the ref's fault, and it's not the Leeds player's fault.
Absolutely.
If you are already on a yellow card, and that frustrates the life out of me, because if it is a yellow card, regardless of what your situation is, it's a yellow card. Yeah. So it shouldn't be I don't want to send him off because, it's his second. Tough. He makes that decision. He makes that foul. He commits to it. And he'd already done one a couple of minutes earlier, which was questionable. But the second one was 100%.
If he doesn't have a yellow, he
gets booked for both of them.
He gets one.
Yeah. So then it's a yellow card offence.
Football fans just want to see the rules applied consistently. That's all we want.
I think even if Dan, sorry, Joe, just really quick. I think even if Dan James doesn't go down so early, I think that's a penalty as well. I think
he's a penalty though.
Yeah,
I
thought it was.
I think he's already going down. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. But I think I briefly was listening to Hinchcliffe from here doing what he normally does that's not a penalty. Then they show the replay and he's like, oh, well, this is why, because there's contact, but without consequence. It's like, hang on a second. If there's contact, he's not touched the ball. He's taken the man. It's in the penalty area. Penalty. End of story. But they're trying to find a reason why it's not a penalty. I was like, well, he's made contact with him. Yeah. There's no real consequence to that. I was like, isn't there? Because Leeds have lost possession now, so there's consequence to that. So for me, the reason why the referee doesn't send Hamer off is because of where the game is being played. It's in Bramall Lane. Doesn't get the penalty because it's in the Bramall Lane. He doesn't get the red card, and he wasn't booking anybody in that first half. And there was some stuff going off the ball that could have. Joe Rodon got leveled 3 times in the first half off the ball.
Yeah, it did.
And no one went back to give him anyone a yellow card. So, look, we've been saying it all year. If we're going to do this, we've got to do it our own way and do it ourselves and just not rely on anybody else. And we have, because we weren't going to get that. I normally always say, you win the battle, you win the game. You've got to go out and win a battle first. And I didn't think we won that battle tonight. I thought we got bullied. And I think there's question marks over that side for next season in the Premier League. You've got to look at that and go, well, there needs to be an awful lot more grit and bite in that. But what there is in that team in an absolute abundance is character. There's no end of the amount of character. You look at this month, right? In February, Leeds have played 5, won 5, scored 18, conceded 2 in February, right? And in that 5 games, Cardiff, outside of them, they're 21st. Coventry, 7th place. Watford, 9th place. Sunderland, 4th place. Sheffield United, 2nd. So we're not exactly playing the lower half team, bar Cardiff. And we've still gone and scored 18 goals in 5 games and only had 2 against us. And those 2 come against the 2 sides that are chasing us. 2 or 3 sides.
And one of them we scored for them.
We did. Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, yeah, tonight, yeah. But I mean, look, that's ballsy. There's a lot of balls there in that team and that term. I always kind of, before games, look at the last 5 matches to say this is the form guide going into the game. And over the last 5, for the first time this season, the 5 games for Leeds are win, 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 win. It's the first time of the year. And if you ever want to be coming into form, it's now. Yeah. And we're coming into this on prime form. 5 more wins does it.
Yeah. We're not that far away. Leeds United now are just the 3rd championship side to have a 50-plus goal difference after 34 games, along with Reading in 05-06 that were plus 53, who of course got the points record, and Fulham in 21-22 with plus 55. Well, listen, you might call me crazy or whatever, right? But
usually,
yeah. How many points is realistic, right? Burnley got 101 under Company. Fulham got 101 in 2001. Newcastle and Leicester got 102. And obviously Sunderland 105. And then Reading 106. Is there a chance that we can enter that, do you think, with the form that we're in? Or do we? I don't know. I think
it's worth noting we did similar last February. It is worth noting.
Yeah.
We did similar last February. I think we won 5 or 6 on the bounce last February, beating Leicester. That ended our run. I think then we went on to lose to, I can't remember, Chelsea in the cup or something. Yeah, then I think it was QPR, wasn't it? Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, we last January, February went on that really good run, didn't we? And we started chasing down the leaders. But it's a different league this year. We're not chasing anybody. We've got that head start. The pressure. Is it even on us anymore? You know, people are turning up now. I mean, you look at Cardiff and they rolled over for us pretty much, didn't they?
Yeah, they
I mean,
did, yeah.
you know what I mean? Watford, they were shite. You know, the teams don't really want to play us. Like, they really don't want to play us. You know, you got to look at. I still question Wilder's starting lineup. I know the you know, Hamer's not been full fitness. And who else did he drop tonight?
Cannon
didn't play. Hamer was on the
Cannon.
Cannon.
Yeah, but there were doubts anyway, weren't there?
Yeah.
But still, I think it's certainly within record. What we got? What's our maximum we can hit? 111.
I think so. Yeah.
13 games, 12 games left. Isn't it 12 games left?
12 games left.
Yeah,
So
we're dropping 6 points. So it's either 3 draws or 2 losses, isn't it?
Yeah.
See,
the thing is, as
draws,
well,
win 6 at home, you're done.
Yeah. The thing is, what I think is really in our favour as well. Listen, West Brom won't be easy, but like on Friday, Sheff Wednesday have got Sheffield. No, sorry, that's Sunderland. Ignore me. They've got tough games coming up. Do you know what I mean? I know there's the Sheffield derby soon, the Steel City derby soon around the corner. So I think it might end up being like that Bielsa season. When you look back and go, fucking hell, it was quite easy actually. You know what I mean? A bit of a cakewalk.
One thing I would say is we had a fairly similar run at the end of last season, and we fluffed our lines by losing to Blackburn, losing to QPR, and drawing with Huddersfield. So I'm always concerned. I would rather be playing 12th to 15th than playing 16th and below, because right now it's very tight at the bottom, and we saw QPR only needed a draw last year to stay up, and they beat us 4-0. So don't underestimate the tenacity that the teams at the bottom are going to need.
Do you know?
I want to challenge on that a little bit if I can, though.
Go on, sorry.
Just a little bit, because I've had a theory since the turn of the year about low blocks, and it was that teams won't be playing low blocks in the second half of the season, because a lot of managers will look at their fixtures for an entire year and will have plotted out where they reckon their points are going to come from, and giving them an idea of what they're told. A lot of them will do that. And I think a lot of teams that are down near the bottom of the league aren't where they thought they would be. And that bottom block, when we go to play them, they all have something to play for, which means sitting back is not going to be an option for them. Trying to hold on and maybe get a point, they might need to get more than that. So I think that opens them up a little bit and might give Leeds an awful lot more freedom to play. Whereas I think the guys in the middle of the division will go low block against Leeds, get a point, fine. I don't think you're wrong in what you're saying. I'm just giving you an alternative opinion to it. But I think if I was in the bottom of the league and you've got Leeds coming in, you're now going to maybe have said, well, we won't win that game. But now you're looking at it going, we need to get something from that game. And that will change it. They set up for that game.
Just to add a little bit more to that. Sorry, Joe. Just to add a little bit more to that, in terms of what Joe's just said as well, is this season we're not as dependent on one player as what we were last season, and that's another big difference. I mean, you look at it tonight: a defender, a midfielder, and an attacker scored tonight. Whereas last season it was very much everything went down through Somerville. So that's something that. I agree with Evie, but I think we're a different team this season. And
I just have that internal Leeds struggle that kind of, because I saw another stat that says no team in Championship history has played 34 games and been 7 points clear of third place and not gone up. So
honestly, don't let that. It's PTSD.
Until it's mathematically impossible for us not to go up in top 2, I will have these doubts because of the fact that Leeds can't have nice things, hence why Ampadu.
So Ampadu has been confirmed he's going to need surgery, and it's a knee cartilage injury, and Farke said it's a pretty bad one. So
it's the other knee, though. It's the other knee.
Because
just run off to celebrate.
He went running down the sideline, celebrating. Like, what is he doing if he's injured?
I know,
And if
but
they thought it was that serious, would they be letting him put so much weight through it? Why is he not on crutches? Why is he not taking weight off the knee?
Cartilage
Why is he
different.
sprinting 50 yards on a hard surface down the sideline to jump on top of players?
I've done my ACL, and not recently, a long time ago, and I had cartilage problems afterwards. Cartilage is a lot different to if you do like your ligaments. Cartilage, you can put a bit more weight onto your knee. Your mobility is absolutely fine. It's the twisting and the turning. But I know what you're saying. They're elite athletes. It should be fucking wrap him up in cotton wool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we're not.
At least he can't go away on international duty, though.
Yeah, no, there is that. And he has said it's too early to give a
really,
time frame, but he'll not be available for the next few games. So it might be after the international break we see him potentially. I think
Be a season done.
Yeah. What do we do with that then, Jared? Is it? Are we all at a stage now where we go Rothwell or what?
I still
because Gruev worked great tonight. I don't think Gruev was good tonight, and I'm a big fan of him, but I don't think he was.
Yeah,
good.
but I do think he helps us away from home. I think he does block off passes. I mean, even tonight he wasn't brilliant tonight, but there's still moments where he makes really good tackles and on counter attacks and stops them dead.
The midfield was shit though, wasn't it? It was
I
non-existent.
thought their shape upset us. I think they set up very differently to how we thought they were going to set up. You know, like I've seen comments this. Like, we have prediction videos from the start of the season. And I even said then I think Joe Rothwell will be an important player by the start of the season, and we talked an awful lot in the summer about whether we get Joe Rothwell or not. I'm a big fan of Joe Rothwell. I really like what he does for Leeds. But we've got a good squad, and we shouldn't be afraid to use the entire squad. And I think away from home specifically, just having that. Leeds hadn't conceded an away goal in the last 4 games until tonight, since they've gone with the double defensive pivot in midfield away from home. So it definitely worked. It stopped Leeds from conceding an away goal every single game to not conceding anymore. And the away rocket has turned because of that. So there's a benefit to having him in that team. And then there's also a benefit for changing it up at 60, 70 minutes and bringing Rothwell on, as we've seen the last 2 games, because it shakes up how the whole thing is being played. But I wouldn't be afraid, and I wouldn't be trying to go, this is the 11, they must play every minute of the game, because we walk ourselves into trouble doing that. I would continue going defensive pivot away from home, Rothwell at home, attacking pivot, and go with that one, because I think they're more than capable. We were very good without Ethan Ampadu for parts of this season, so I don't have any worries. The only worry I have is we've no Max Fober till after the international break. You've no Ethan Ampadu till after the international break. James DeBoyo ain't getting on that park. Josh Gilavogi's a bit wobbly in the back. Stroke don't have to avoid injury now for the remainder of this season.
God, no.
So, yeah, that's the only issue. Sam Byram can do a fine job in there. And against certain teams you go up against, it won't make a difference because they probably won't be defending much. But that's the only concern I have. But I wouldn't be afraid to. There's a lot of things been said over the last week that don't make sense. The amount of people that went, Joe Rothwell should be taking our corners from now on. I was like, yeah, he has been all season. But we've scored from one now, so don't forget he was taking them previous to this. Or Joe Rothwell should take all our set pieces. He has been all year.
Solomon was taking him tonight, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Solomon took
Gruev off them, didn't he? After last time, I think.
Which is probably something different as well. That's worth noticing. Last season, Farke would have just continued with the same thing and the same thing.
Yeah.
Now he's recognizing that actually I do need to make a change, and he's not giving an opportunity to develop into an issue. You know, Gruev was shit at set pieces last night. Put Solomon on him. You know, changes tonight they were made so much earlier than weeks before, and opportunities when we were losing. I think the first subs were made at 58 minutes tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. He's done a hell of a job. He's turned a lot of things around that people didn't like as well. Like the away form's been sorted. It's no longer that we think we're automatically going to lose every time we have an away game now. We're not worried when we see rotation in the team so much. We're not calling it boring anymore, any of us. And he's making subs at different times and arguably turned the game again by getting them right. Can't fault him. And I was questioning him a lot at one point.
Well, I did as well. I questioned his style of football. And I've said it all year, I don't have to love his style of football to respect the job that he's doing, but I haven't always loved what he's done in terms of the football and ability. But he's the manager, and you're like a football match is 90 minutes, a season is whatever, 46 games. You judge him at the end of it, and he's done a cracking job. Don't like the slow starts to a season, but the second half of the season is one hell of a run every single season. But there were so many people this week that were like, yeah, we've had a massive impact off the bench, but if he'd made the subs earlier, they'd have a bigger impact. Like, stop it. Behave yourself.
We're winning the games. You can only, you can't really complain, can you?
No.
I can't.
It's amazing. I think, West Brom Saturday, is it? I think West Brom this Saturday, and then Yeah, I'm just excited.
Risk of a hangover?
Early start.
Risk of a hangover?
Nah.
Was there a
2
risk of a hangover
last-minute
tonight, though?
games? Well, yeah, because it's a big opposition.
But there was
you know,
really
this
for 20
Leicester
minutes,
team.
wasn't there?
There was,
There
actually.
arguably was.
Yeah,
I just
There's a
think at home we're a different animal as well, Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
Tony
also as
Mowbray's West Brom will come and play, which means they're going to leave so much space in behind. He don't play defensive, doesn't Mowbray? He likes his teams to play. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. It won't be easy, but I just think
different mentality in this team as well. Different mentality. They don't give up, and they didn't tonight, and that's the main thing. They didn't give up. We got the equaliser, and I was like, yeah, I'll be happy with that. That keeps us top of the table, fine. And then obviously,
that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that goes and happens, and it's just like I can't. Do you know what I mean?
to win 3 as well, right?
Stupid.
To win 3.
It's not stupid, but I don't think we're gassing Piroe up enough at the moment.
Yeah.
That goal is an absolute thunder
It's a
twat.
rocket.
Unbelievable.
To be attacking, Paul, you've just scored to go 2-1 up. It's gone into 98th minute. And then the next thing you do is go break. Just like, where I'm like, bring all the defenders on, get everyone on the goal line, back it up, kill the game. And they're like, nah.
I think a lot's got to be said for Farke as well for making that change and actually recognising. Look, I know I give Matteo Joseph a lot of stick, and I don't think he's anything that any of us thought he could have been this season. But it does give us that option to move for Piroe a little bit deeper, and almost confuses them because they've been marking a big lump in Piroe, who doesn't move around all that much, albeit his movement has got better this season. But then they've got Joseph on there who does do a lot of running, but then Piroe just picks up those pockets of space, and we saw it tonight. You know, if he gets half a yard, he's shooting, and it's 9 times out of 10 it's on target, isn't it? Whether it's going in or not, he's on target.
I mean, it's accurate.
But even bringing Nonto's shot, you know, that was almost a carbon copy of a Somerville type shot from last season. Cut inside, hit it, and great save by the way. But yeah, I just think Daniel Farke is just getting so much right, and I think it's very, very difficult to actually, you know, hate the geezer right now. He's just an absolute. He's a mastermind at the moment.
Yeah, it was very clever bringing Piroe on because, bringing Joseph on, and then Piroe moving back to almost that number 10 role-ish a little bit, if you like, but because you saw it as soon as that happened, the space that Joseph created for him to run into was just brilliant, really, really good. So you've got to give Farke props for that. He knows what he's doing.
Can I give another bit of props of something that I think has maybe gone a little under the radar of something is the fitness. Obviously, we were renowned for fitness with Bielsa. You know, we could just outrun and just keep on going. But I think that was probably one of the things that won us the game, because actually the goal scorers were all on there for the entire length of the match. It wasn't. I know, obviously, Rothwell providing the corner. You know, he was pivotal with it as well, and obviously, you know, Nonto almost got a goal. But we were just so physically fit. And Sheffield, you know, when you've got Gus Hamer, who didn't even play half a match, and he just looked knackered, hence why his tackles were shambolic, because he wasn't physically fit. And I love how, you know, he has just transformed this team. You know, we were so lethargic under Jesse Marsh, and we couldn't play for, you know, over 60 minutes by the end of Jesse Marsh's reign. And tonight we just didn't give up. You know, it must absolutely kill Hinchcliffe for back-to-back Monday games to just say Leeds are inevitable, because we are, and that I have to, you know, you've got to give props to Farke's fitness regime and the fact of how well he has drilled these players, and, you know, just got them so prepared to, you go until that final whistle. There is no dropping. You know, you have to be at peak physical, you know, condition in order to play.
Yeah, sometimes triple sessions, I believe, in the summer as well. So it's like it's top-notch stuff from
It's
the
tall guy, isn't it? I forget what his name is. The one with the beard. He's like 6'3" that does a lot of the fitness training. What's he called? I can't remember his name.
Tall
the
beard.
one with the beard.
We'll call him that.
Yeah, the tall bearded German, I think it is. He's just, you can see the intensity that he brings when you watch the uncut and training sessions and stuff online. You can just see what he does. It's just really good.
I think just going back to what Joe said a few minutes back about we were still attacking it when we got to 2-1 and we went at them again. We must have all thought, oh God, they're going to throw everything at us now when we got that second goal. And yet it was just great to see that we didn't just sit in and just, wait for him to attack and equalise again. We just kept going. I loved it. I love that attitude. I love that we weren't scared at the end there. We weren't scared to lose it. We were bold and we went for it and we got our rewards. I love it. I'm buzzing at the moment. I'm just loving this football.
Yeah, it's amazing. It genuinely is. It's. I don't know what else to say really at times. It's fucking mad. I'm just laughing. Sorry, I'm not. It's quite rude of me, but I'm just laughing at all the memes and all sorts.
I've just seen a couple myself.
I've seen Piroe behind Chris Wilder in an uncomfortable position and all sorts. So it's just.
Just had a text to me.
Yeah,
it's the stuff of Chris Wilder's nightmares.
Yeah. Do you know what? Only Mohamed Salah has more assists in 2024 than Junior Firpo. Only Mohamed Salah, which is insane. Give him the Ballon d'Or.
Well, just think about it though, because as well, Dan James is getting closer and closer to 20 GNA, isn't he? Now that he's got 8 assists now, hasn't he, in 10 goals? So he's at 18 GNA. That's nuts. Just our team as a whole.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got to be Firpo's got to
give him a contract as a winger.
I'd give him a contract.
I'd give him a contract as a forward, technically.
I wouldn't have him anywhere near the defence. Yeah.
Do you not think he'd have already? Do you not think he'll have already had the offer? And I think we'd have known by now if he was staying, wouldn't we?
Apparently, the last time he was interviewed, he said they haven't had any conversations about it at all, and he's just changed his agency as well, which usually signals some form of a change. But Bettis are banging his door down, and he hasn't signed anything with them either. And he can do what he wants right now. He can sign a pre-contract, and he hasn't. So Leeds might just said to him, "Look, we need to wait till this is confirmed before we can do it," because he's on huge money. Like he's one of the highest earners in the club right now. So they might need to say to him, "Look, Junior, we need you to wait because we can't commit to a new contract in case the worst case scenario happens. We need to at least make sure we're nearly there, and then we can talk about contracts." And I think Farke has talked about maybe an international break being a time the club will discuss contracts and the loan players, but I think he can wait.
I'm seeing a lot of these comments saying that Firpo can't defend. I don't know what they've been watching.
But he was poor in the Premier League, Luke. I think I don't think we should let the last couple of years of Championship gloss the eyes a bit.
No, I think he's better.
He's improved loads. He was the only player trying to win headers today. People just.
I agree. Come here. I'm not saying anything that. But he's not playing against a Premier League side here. He's playing against Sheffield.
He's not playing Salah and Saka, and I get that.
That's the problem.
But also,
it was the same in Spain.
Yeah. Do you not think the system though didn't aid him as well?
I think that the entire season was shite. Everyone in the nobody played well that year. But he's such an attack. I have the same fear for Jayden Bogle. I think like part of me is like I would like Leeds to buy 2 defensive-minded fullbacks as well, because there's gonna be matches where you can't have 2 fullbacks who want to go that far forward. You leave that kind of space in the Premier League, and we've seen it. Slice show open in seconds. So
we'll be an Ipswich next season if that happens, won't we? I mean, we'll
leave
Davis.
The brave boys that attack but get battered ultimately. And we've been there before with that.
We don't want that
something a little bit different.
No.
Don't be everyone's favorite second team and lose every week.
Anyways.
I think you're quite right. I think we need both options. That's why I would like Firpo to stay, but we would like a proper a traditional, shall we say, left back that's to defend for the majority of the game, because next season is going to be completely different. We go up.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, Farke is now at 64% win ratio.
Best in the club, is it?
Love it.
Best in the club's history. 2.2 points per game.
Love it.
Like, regardless of whether you like his style or not, and I include myself in this, he's smashing club records this year. Like, club records every week are dropping every single week, and people can say, "Well, it's we're in the Championship." We have been in the Championship for so long, over how many decades?
Yeah.
And I even go back to even when we won the title in 1991. Before that, we were in the second tier as well. So we've been down an awful lot. So a large portion of our history has not been played in the top flight. So for people to say, well, those records don't count because they're not in the top flight, they do. They count because other managers have had this team in lower leagues for a long period of time and haven't done that. And we didn't do it in League One either. The year we went up, we had a decent side. So, you know, what he's doing right now should be, again, as I said, and I'll say it this way, you don't have to love it, but it should be respected, what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Folks, I've got some super chats, so let's work through. Big up to Kaylee, who's a new member. Big up, Kaylee. Thank you. Hamface sad makes me glad, says William Morrison. Ryan Paula Higgins says, even as a pessimist, I'm optimistic now. Very hairy ninja says, as a Leicester fan, this was yet another PTSD triggering game for me. Have a celebratory drink, lad. Just on that as well, like, obviously this weekend, Premier League relegation, all but confirmed, really, after Wolves have started picking up results. Are we... Do we think that the gap's too big, or do we think we'll be all right with the right? I guess it's all about recruitment, isn't it? I guess. I don't know.
I think we can do it because Southampton were playing with a manager who was so vain. He wouldn't bend the knee at all to say, you know, it was so... He was such a vanity-fueled manager that he sacrificed the entire team for the sake of himself and his own career. He did a company, but just doesn't have the same career highlights that company has, so isn't going to get chosen for the Bayern Munich job. Ipswich, they went up too fast, really. They should probably be going up this season instead, because then they'd have had 2 years in the Championship. It can just be a little bit more stable. I know it's the fairy tale, but the Premier League doesn't give up, you know, like fairy tales. And Leicester were in financial chaos before they went up, so they knew they weren't going to be able to actually spend the money that they realistically needed. You know, they've got Jamie Vardy. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but he's not a Premier League. He's not the player he was. And the fact that he's still starting week in, week out shows how backwards their you know, input has gone. So I think that with a sensible business structure behind us, it's not going to be like last time we went up, because we don't have Bielsa, but also we actually have financial stability and, you know, people who, you know, have, you know, me and you, Joe, at the beginning of this season had a heated discussion about the fact that you can't build a house without the foundations. And obviously this was during the transfer window. And I said about the fact that the 49ers are having to go backwards in order for us to go forwards, because
if you were right, I don't remember this conversation, but it was the game where Somerville left straight after the game, and that got announced straight after we'd beaten Spanish team. Valencia, that's the one. So we had a heated discussion about that, and then I said, well, you have to build a foundation beforehand. You know, I am female, so I do remember these things when you know. I only remember the arguments that I won, Evie. The ones that I've lost, I don't remember.
Right, so it's on a little postage stamp, then, can't you?
Well, we'll have some money to spend if we go up.
That's one thing. I think we're financially in a strong position. You know, we cleared our debts by selling Rutter, selling Archie, selling Curry. Invested really, really well. Recruitment was spot on in the summer. Didn't buy anybody in January. You know, so if we do go, when we do go up, I think we'll be in a real strong position financially to sort of have a real crack at it.
Yep.
You have to think like sorry, Joe.
No, I was going to say, I think
Go on, mate. Go on. Go.
I was just going to say, you have to think the sponsorship and everything will go up astronomically as well in the Premier League. So we're going to be
in that as well. Because apparently the part of the deal with Red Bull has a promotion increase in it as well. That was part of
it's got to have, hasn't it?
Well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, I mean, again, regardless of whether you like the Red Bull stuff or not, Leeds going into the Premier League with a major sponsor on their shirt when other teams have been told get your gambling sponsors off your shirts. So it's a good moment there as well. I think they do need to invest in the team significantly. I think the first 25 minutes of that game there tonight showed me that team won't hack it in the Premier League as it is. It needs proper, and Evie's right, it needs proper investment, and I trust what they've brought in so far. They've all been excellent. I don't think we brought on a bad player. Look at against Tanaka involvement again tonight. It just, they haven't put a foot wrong. I mean, even Schmidt, but that's half Daniel Farke. When he has played, he's never looked bad. So, good squad player. But I think this team, as a part of a bigger squad, have a massive part to play in the Premier League, because there's some very young, talented players in here that I think over a couple of years will develop into very good Premier League players, but they'll need that time. I was at an event the other night, a Q&A in Dublin with Stuart Dallas and Ian Hart, and one thing that popped up, and Stuart Dallas volunteered this, and he said,
Irish friends. One
of the things, what was interesting was Stuart Dallas volunteered the Crystal Palace game, and he said, I'm sick of all these stories there with Crystal Palace. Will somebody please tweet this out? Nothing happened at halftime. It should have happened at halftime, but nothing happened. It was a calm, normal halftime team talk. The team just collapsed. And he said, I've heard all these things. Maybe someone needed to get in someone's face or throw something. But he also kind of said that squad and the people in that dressing room weren't the right people for that club, for the club. And there was very clearly a split. And he didn't go into huge details. He was quite, but he gave us enough. And Ian Hart gave us a little bit more, but he gave us enough to basically say what was in that dressing room, didn't really care about being there. And I think when Leeds do go up, they need to bring in players of a caliber that can handle the Premier League, especially on the spine of the team. But more importantly, that players that want to play for Leeds United and are not just coming to pick up Premier League money, not Christensen's, not Cox, none of these lads who are coming in just to get the Premier League money, and their dream is to play in the Premier League. No, your dream has to be to play here. So
I actually think a lot of them players only ever intended to be here for a season anyway, whether we went up or stayed up or went down.
Yeah. Got to drop. See you, folks. Thanks for this. What a night.
No worries, mate.
Joe,
I'm muted. Sorry. Yeah, bye, Luke. Thanks for coming on. If anyone needs to dip at any point, you're more than welcome to. Grim Reaper said, I don't condone violence, but Farke slapped Mez at half-time. Mayor says, can the children in the chat relax when we concede a goal? Your balls will drop soon, so grow up. There was a lot of negativity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Evie's burner.
The thing that makes me like, we're going to concede goals. We are going to concede goals, be that through somebody making a mistake or an error happening. And I'm sorry to say this, but has nobody watched Leeds United over the last 10 years? Come on. And it's just, I saw on X somebody going, see, and somebody said I was an idiot for complaining about us not signing anybody in January. This is what happens. It's like, it's half time. Give your head a wobble a little bit.
Well,
and just...
if you add on those lovely points that Hamface likes to constantly talk about.
They can have them back now.
Yeah, until tonight, we were on theoretically the same points. So it's not the end of the world to concede against a team that have won the exact same amount of points that you have. That's normal. It happens. It's football. We were also away from home. We also had our manager up in the gantry, and yet we still came back and won. That must hurt like hell for Wilder, because we had everything going against us. Ampadu, last minute call, potentially out for weeks, if not months. Manager can't be there to give everybody a pep talk when an own goal goes in, all of this, and yet we still came back. We still fought back. Yes, we conceded a goal, but it was a very fluky, and they didn't even score it. We scored it. So again, Leeds are the only people to get in Leeds United's way. But these things are going to happen, and as soon as that equalising goal went in, there was only one team that really looked like they were going to do the job. I didn't feel that at the time because, my Leeds kind of just chaos and anxiety was absolutely through the roof. But I just want to mention the fans after that second goal went in, when I thought we were actually going to have a pitch invasion at some point. I thought, right, well, that's it. We're getting a 10-point deduction. This is it. This is how we managed to not go up.
Did you hear about the fan from the Sheffield behind the dugout that came on and tried attacking the Leeds United management staff?
Is that what that was at half time, Paul?
Not half time. It was when we scored, I think either the second or the third goal. A fan tried jumping some of the coaching staff,
Right,
and
okay.
then got led
Wow.
away.
That's disgusting.
It is actually.
Yeah, I
but
did
would like
see
to have seen him
there was
try.
a tweet saying it had got unsavoury, but I just thought it were between benches. I didn't realise.
No, it was one of their fans apparently jumped onto the pitch and tried to. I think
But
probably
you're
one
going
of
to be
our.
banned. Like, why
Well,
would you do that over? You're still in automatic promotion. What is the actual point of doing something like that? Well done. You're going to get promoted, and you're not going to be there to see your team get battered every week in the Premier League. Well done.
That's true.
It's an idiot.
Brilliant, man. So I'm going to ask you all this actually. So 111 points. Is it feasible? Dare we dream? I don't think we'll win them all now between now and the end of the season. But is there a chance that we could get the points record, Joe? 106.
Oh, without a doubt, because we're on a level of form that is unseen, and by unseen I mean literally. I've just spent the last 2 minutes opening up 1,000 tabs on my second monitor. It turns out in the top 6 tiers of English football, we are the only team to have won all of our last 5 matches, and that sort of level of performance alongside the results means that you go into a match completely confident, and even having conceded a goal like we did tonight, when I was having a chat with Joe over on his watch-along thing over on Bing Up, I literally said to him, I still think we're going to win this. I still think we're going to win 2-1. And you know what? We overperformed even the weird optimist's opinion. So I think there's no reason to feel like we won't, going into any match, have at least a very good chance of winning it. And if we drop points, that's fine. But we're in that position right now. We've got so much confidence combined with that much quality that I think not only are we going to go up, but we're going to be very, very good. And in addition to that, a little bit of a fun note that Evie might quite like. I had a look at various other fixtures that are happening this coming weekend. Last season, when we had a little bit of a wobble, we then went to QPR and got absolutely pumped. Sheffield United, where do we think they're going this weekend?
Yeah.
Come on, QPR, do us a favour.
Yes.
And everyone loses after they play Leeds.
Always. Sunderland.
Agent Jockey strikes again.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Jockey. He's a dancer, isn't he? Definitely. Right, okay. Evie, how many points feasible for you?
I think we could get 107. I think if we beat it, we literally just do it. We don't go full and absolutely smash it. I think it's on the last day of the season, and that's the only thing we've got to play for. We're already up. We're already up as champions. That's the only thing that we've got left to play for.
100%. Paul?
I think we break it. We're coming for it all this season. That's how I feel. Genuinely, that's how I feel.
Yeah. I'll be happy with over 100 points, me. I would. Yeah. Jay?
I was going to say 107, but I'll go 108 just to be,
Imagine we break points record, though. Honestly, it'd be nice. It would be
It'd
nice.
just be unreal. It'd just be unreal. And the best bit would be for us all to get to celebrate this time.
I was just going to say, we get to celebrate it, don't we? There's going to be an open top bus, all that sort of stuff. We can all be in Leeds City Centre, man. It's going to be sweet as a nut. Can't wait.
It'll be amazing.
That'll be incredible. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
I'll celebrate with a drink in my hand in Egypt.
Oh,
right.
Sounds terrible.
Evie, do you know what
I genuinely would rather be in Leeds on that day than in
So
Egypt.
would I. So would I. I'm missing the last game of the season. We fly at 3 o'clock.
Oh.
It could be raining in
that's
Leeds,
hard.
and I'd still rather be there on that day, I think.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Mate, it could be raining, windy, hurricane, snowing. I'll probably still be in a fountain in the middle of town when we top off somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. It's going to be quality. Hamer looks like he's had a few too many grease chip boys. I know we don't make it easy, but I'm so happy with that result. The wrong team won the playoff final, simple as. I'm sort of glad we didn't win it, mate. On Easter Monday, the Leeds will have risen. Big up, and everyone's favourite golfer. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you well. Only one team could stop us now, and we know who that team is. Agreed. But we will not. We shall not. Yeah, we're just unbelievable. We're unbelievable, and Yeah.
Haven't lost
Chris
since
Wilder compares Junior Firpo's
November.
goal to a header by Bob Latchford or Joe Jordan. One for the dads there, one for the old schools.
A little bit of
yeah.
blue for the dads.
Nice.
A bit of blue for the dads.
Sam Byram's late sub as well takes him to 24 consecutive league games without defeat, the joint longest run by any Leeds United player outside of the Revit era. He's on par with David Batty, who also went 24 unbeaten as well. Chris Wilder's been quite magnanimous, saying we're the best team, we're behind them, and that's why they're top of the league, etc., etc., etc.
Well done for pointing out the obvious.
Yeah. We're going to go fucking win it now, aren't we? That's the best bit.
We have to.
Yeah.
You've got to.
We've done the hard work. We've got to just ride it out now.
Yeah, and I think we will. I'm confident we will. I think we'll go win on Saturday as well. Happy days. Listen, folks. I mean, there's not much for us to go through. We've had over 2,000 people for every single hour of this podcast, which is crazy.
Well done.
Over 2,000, which is insane. So thank you all for supporting the channel. I don't think there's much more for us to talk about, really. Yeah, we've got a game on Saturday. We'll get stuck into that. Yeah, listen, go check out Paul, Leeds United Therapy. Go check out Evie, Discourse of a Peacock. Joe B at Joe Blackburn. And, of course, you can hear the musings of Jay and Luke over on Ought Know Better. And don't forget Joe joined us as well. Joe was here on Leeds United The View. But yeah, Pete, we will all ride off into the sunset now as well, man, and try sleep, which I'm probably thinking none of us.
I've been on that.
Well,
Nope,
but we'll try.
We're watching highlights on repeat in bed.
Yeah.
Yep,
exactly,
absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. Right, folks. Another great night. Big up. Oh, bye-bye. Oh,